Well, here's 5 things that a buyer can negotiate during the home sale process. The first thing, which happens really quickly in the process, is repairs. Once you get a home under contract, then the next step in the process is to have a home inspection. And in today's market, we're seeing more and more buyers getting their repairs accepted. So that's number one, negotiate repairs. Make sure it's like a move-in ready home. That's what we're seeing as one of the biggest things for buyers in today's market. Another thing is title insurance. Make sure that the seller is paying for title insurance. That could be a pretty large expense that a lot of buyers don't know about. The last couple of years, it kind of switched and buyers were offering that as an incentive. But in today's market, that no longer needs to be an incentive. So just make sure you're aware of title insurance and how much that is and how you're considering that when you're negotiating with the seller. A third thing that you can negotiate is survey. The expectation is when a seller sells a home, they bring the survey from when they purchased the home. And as long as there's been no major changes to the boundary lines, for example, put in a fence, put in a swimming pool, anything like that, then the survey should be carried over from the prior closing. And it's just a simple T47 that gets notarized by the seller. And then you can use that on your closing as well. And it'll save you about $500 to $700 on survey costs. If the seller doesn't have that or they can't find it, then that's something you can ask them to pay for. That's something that's very easily negotiable. Another item to negotiate would be a home warranty. We consider it standard when we're negotiating with a seller that you get a home warranty. It's like peace of mind. When you buy a home, having that home warranty, just in case anything goes out, let's say it's your hot water heater, let's say your dishwasher goes out, maybe your AC starts acting up. Well, then you have that home warranty to fall back on. And now it's not going to replace anything, but it will help cover a technician service call and any repairs that may need to be made in the short term to get things back working in order. But it is a good insurance policy, peace of mind to have as a buyer. One of the final things to negotiate or consider is move-in date. A lot of times sellers don't want to move on the day of closing, and so they may ask for some leeway when they move out. And if they do, then that could be considered in the price, how you negotiate that. That could be something that's very to a seller in negotiating, and therefore giving them that flexibility of not having to rush out of the home as soon as you close and then have that cash so that they can move on to the next home. Giving them that option is always something it's a great thing for sellers to have. And it's something we look at negotiating. And the last thing that you can negotiate as a buyer when you're in the sale process is concessions. So a lot of times what we will do is we'll look at how long the house has been on the market. We'll look at if there's been any prior price reductions. And based on that, we might actually suggest to the client to offer more than list price and then have that difference between the offer price and the list price included in seller concessions. And as long as it appraises, then that helps the buyer absorb some of the cost of closing, because that's what those concession costs are for, is for closing costs for a buyer to get in a home. And then that puts more money in your pocket, in the buyer's pocket, so that they can do other things after they move in. Reach out to someone on our team, reach out to me. Love to give you more information on how to buy a home in today's market and help you realize your dreams.